Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing this thread over here. So it is titled, do you think Bannerlord will be more feature complete than Warband when it leaves EA or early access? So I've talked about this previously in other videos, and we're going to see what people in the community have to say, and I'm going to give my opinion of it. But a lot of you have heard my opinion before. But let's check it out. I'm going to link this down below, and let's see what they're talking about. So the original poster says, so I came to Mount & Blade relatively recently through a friend who was a total addict, and in the end convinced me to give Warband or Viking Conquest a try. In the end I tried both, and after initial skepticism got hooked. So I'm not a super old guard, but have been playing for a few years. So for those of you who have been playing Mount & Blade since you were since then, what do you think? Do you think Bannerlord will have more features than Warband did on launch? Genuinely curious to ask. Okay, so let's see what people have to say first. Let's see, because I'm also not like the oldest type of player, but I can still give my opinion on it. So one person says, native Warband was extremely bare bones to me. If Bannerlord can't improve on that, then the game is a joke. Interesting. Then we have, the thing is, I think people forget how bare Warband was without mods like Diplo and Florus. Since when was the last time you did a full vanilla run? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. This is a true right here. Let's keep reading. Wait, Warband had missing features. Maybe it lacked diplomacy and better information AI, but otherwise it was not too lacking in features. Cap. The bigger problem was that many of the existing features were crude compared to mods at least. Interestingly enough, Bannerlord also lacks diplomacy and good formation AI. Lessons were not learned. Okay. Another player says, got the original Mount & Blade in 2010, Warband shortly afterwards. Even if native Warband single player didn't have as much as people would like, it had enough to be entertaining, and its modability fueled its lifespan for years and still does. That is true. Bannerlord is completely bare bones in comparison. Just by getting to the mid-game where you're done with hunting looters, it's so empty. There's nothing to do other than fight lords, and that's about it. The innovation that Warband did have, like lore books to increase stats, coordinating, etc., it's all gone. I agree with a lot of parts here. Going off of what Tailworlds has as a vision, I seriously doubt Bannerlord will match Warband in terms of actual content when it releases. Caleb said himself Bannerlord had pretty much everything Warband does, but we know that is not true. Not to mention the fact that half of Bannerlord's features don't work. I don't know when he said this. Yeah, I don't know about this one, dog. I don't know. I don't remember that personally. Where's the version of the game shown to us a demonstration? PC Gamer, the one that actually had stuff in it, like, dialogue, more than just hello, goodbye. Okay, bro, there's some dialogue. Let's. Okay, listen, you started off great. We're starting to scoop, okay? But I agree. I agree with a lot of stuff that was being said here. Last person. Been playing since 2013. Warband quickly became my favorite game of all time. I played native for a pretty long while before even trying any mods, and I still enjoy it all the time. At the time, Stranger felt more atmospheric and immersive to me than Bannerlord did. At the very least, a sequel. It's not a sequel. Listen, dog. I know, like I said before, a lot of people are mad because they're previous Warband players, and those are usually the guys who are super mad at Bannerlord. People who just come into the game are not really mad at it. You know what I mean? People who came from Warband are super mad because they wanted Warband 2. It's not Warband 2. Does that mean that some of the features should... does that mean that it should be a completely different game? No, I think that a lot of Warband features should be in Bannerlord. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's not a sequel. I'm going to keep it a stack. At the very least, a sequel should be the same game, but with some new features and improvements. I agree. That's what a sequel should be, but it's not a sequel, unfortunately. So, there it is. Bannerlord takes some steps forward, but takes other steps backwards. Some of the steps backwards costing the quality of game dearly. Okay. Not to mention all the missing little details and little features. Others have mentioned that each of their own doesn't necessarily impact the game that much gameplay-wise, but they add up to thus add to the game a lot more than I would have thought before. It just puzzles me how some features and mechanics of Warband were so basic and bare bones, and somehow the same way Bannerlord made them worse. That's not even including the ones that are missing. Quests are my favorite example. How could you make Bannerlord quests worse than Warband? Just how? Okay. Fair criticisms. I agree. Fair criticisms here. Here's what I have to say. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think that based on this forum post, do I think Bannerlord will have more features complete than Warband when it leaves early access? I'm going to go 60% yes, 40% no. I'm tilting on the yes side because they are pushing the date that the game will be finished back for a couple more months, and they probably will push it back again. So, plus the fact that they do, actually try to, communicate with the community, even though people swear they don't. They do try to do that, and they do try to, work with what they got. So that's why I'm giving the 60% yes. The 40% no is because there has been a lot of stuff thrown out. That is true. And what's it called? How else can I say this? Maybe 30% no. Because there has been stuff that has been dropped, and unfortunately, as we've seen, the devs have stated previously that they have ideas. Ideas have been brought up to the table, and unfortunately, they've gotten denied by who I don't really know. They say the decision makers, those guys, right? But that's why I would say no, as feature complete. But at the end of the day, this is all speculation, and there's some good points brought up that I do want to go over in a second. But it's speculation. We'll see how complete it is at the end, and it's hard to compare two games that Bannerlord does look like a sequel. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does look like a sequel, and it does sound like a sequel. It plays kind of like a sequel to Warband, and I'm guessing, people who haven't read the specific, one or two threads where the devs have mentioned that they don't want this to be a sequel. It could really look like a sequel that's half done, right? Which, of course, it's not fully done yet because it's still in early access, but I can see why people are frustrated with it because, hey, this is a sequel. It's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be 2 times better because it's the second version and stuff like that. But they are going a different way. While some people might like it, some people might not like it, that is the way they're choosing to go. But now I want to bring up the point that a lot of people aren't bringing up, and even when they are bringing it up, I don't think they're being completely truthful. I think native Warband, vanilla Warband, is bare bones too. I know people are going to hate me for it. I know people are going to be like, no, it's not, man. There's so much more stuff you can do. Fair criticism. But the game of Bannerlord is not done yet. When this game is fully done, then we can be like, hey, how bare bones compared to this, that? Warband vanilla was kind of bare bones as well. Let's not kid ourselves. You know what I mean? And a thing that a lot of people love about Warband is the extensive modding community. Mods that every single playthrough that they've played have included these base mods that almost everybody plays with. You know what I mean? So a lot of people's, how can I explain this? A lot of people's view on Warband is like it's this super, super rich game, which it is. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of it has to do with that modding community. You know what I mean? Like, if we're being completely honest, that modding community really held that game up for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? Not saying it's a bad game. I like Warband too. Don't get that wrong. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean. If I don't know how else to say it. I already know people are gonna be upset with what I just said, but I'm trying to keep it honest here. You know what I mean? What else do we got? Yeah, obviously, like these mods right over here, Diplo and Florist, a lot of people have, that's usually what you go into the game with. What other things have been said here that I want to kind of bring up? I agree that I don't like that they decided to get rid of some of this stuff right over here. The lore books, courting, I think feasts, those should have been in the game. Hopefully they do make it close to the end, but I really think they should be in the game. I do agree that is definitely fumbled and it should have been in the game. almost 100%. Going out Tables Division, I seriously doubt will match in terms of actual content when it releases. That is, to be said. Like I said, I think I'm going to go 65, 35. 65% yes, 35% no. I don't remember him saying this, that Bannerlord has pretty much everything Warband does. Maybe this was like one of those interviews from 2015, like what he mentions here, where it's just like, what I mean? Like, I get it. People are upset. Stuff changed in the development and this and that. But it sucks that it happens. Don't get me wrong. But that's just the state of, development in games in general. You know what I mean? Like, if you look into any game's development, literally any game's development, and you really get to digging, you can find just as much stuff as people have found on different threads of like, here's what they said here and here's what didn't happen. You can do that for any game, I promise you. You know what I mean? It sucks. I don't want the gaming industry to be like that, but tis what it is. What is this? And yeah, all right. So here's my summary of it. Again, do I think it'll be more feature complete at the end? I'm leaning towards the yes. I think it will, and I think people's perception of Warband is they're not looking at just Warband vanilla as it is, no DLCs, no post-launch update. I think they're looking at it with mods in mind, but not really thinking about it whenever they are talking about Warband and how much better it was. So I think this would be a great comparison to make once the game fully comes out, and also once these bigger mods come out as well. Once we have both those things, where the bigger mods, the DLCs, I'll put those into one category, and then also the game being fully launched. Once that happens, let's do that comparison. I'll even make a video. I'll do it. Why not? We'll make a video. We'll compare them. We'll talk about it, and go from there. But yeah, I'm leaning towards yes. I know that might be not like the thing people want to hear, but like I said, 65% yes, 35% no. But then again, it's also based on what people think feature complete means. If they just want stuff copied from Warband, well then that might be a hard no for them. It just depends. This is all opinion based. This just depends literally like on what you see as, you know what I mean? It's like whenever people comment what kind of features they want to see, what kind of impactful features they want to see in Bannerlord. And like whenever we do get one that's impactful, people are like, no, this is not impactful enough. You know what I mean? So it all depends. It's all opinion based. Let me know what your opinions are. You know what I mean? If you agree, you disagree, let me know what parts you disagree with. All of that. And we will go from there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Ask me any questions, any concerns. And like always, stay safe.